Hey, it's Theo, and thank you for joining me. Today we got the new Hearthstone year revealed, the Year of the Raptor, and with that we also got the whole new core set revealed. Now in this video I'll be going over every single card that will be entering or leaving the core set. Now if a card isn't in this video and it's right now in the core set, that means it will stay in the core set. And of course the core set is free for everybody, so starting with the expansion, you will be able to play with all these cards completely for free. And as always, if you want to see more of these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. Then let's start with Deathlight and what is leaving for Deathlight. First of all, we got the Scourge, Plague Drain, Soul Steal, and Bite of Manathiel, Corpse Bride, and Noxious Cadaver. And honestly, not too big of a loss for Deathlight. We got Soul Stealer for Blood Decay, which isn't really much played anymore, so not that big of a deal. Some of these cards could be discovered, especially Might of Manathiel had some uses, but overall, not too big of a loss for Death Knight in the core set. Then what is entering for Death Knight in the core set is a completely new card, a new legendary. We got Felric, a 3 mana 2/4. You gain twice as many corpses than normal. Battlecry, draw a card that spends corpses. So there's a 2 Unholy Rune card, and it's just 3 mana. Draw a specific card that spends corpses, plus you gain the corpses, so you can probably see this getting played in a deck that really wants those corpses. Then we also got the Tomb Guardians coming back, Death Metal Knight, Death Chiller, Malignant Horror, and another new card, which is the Poison Breath, 2 mana, give a friendly undead poisonous. Now by itself, it could be like 4 mana kill a minion with the hero power, but if some sort of AoE card or some other big synergy with it, I could see this being played, but not just by itself. Overall though, maybe the new cards can help Deathlight, the cards that are returning. Not too big of a deal. They didn't really see too much play before. Then we have for Demon Hunter 4 cards that are leaving core, which are Metamorphosis, Expendable Performers, Coordinated Strike, and Unbowing. And there's only one really big card that's leaving, I'd say, which is Metamorphosis, which got played in pretty much all the aggressive Demon Hunter decks. It was really strong, especially after they buffed it, so that's a pretty big loss for the aggressive Demon Hunters. But the other cards, they didn't really see much play anymore. Then the cards that are entering the core set are Zai the Incredible, Priestess of Fury, Tusk Piercer, and Fel Rattler. And also these cards, I'm not sure how much they'll see play. Of course, at some point had the nerf Priestess of Fury because it was too strong, but a few years later, I'm not so sure anymore unless you can cheat it out somehow. Tusk Piercer though, I think this is a pretty strong card. 1 mana weapon that tutors a specific piece is always strong. It just depends if there's a good death rattle to tutor or not. Then leaving the core set for Druid are Cenarius, Ancient of Lore, Lesser Jesper Spellstone, and Druid of the Claw. And none of these cards really saw play for Druid, so not big of a loss. Entering the core set for Druid are Fandral Stackhelm, Vibrant Scroll, Best in Shell, and Flipper Friends. Fandral gets buffed by 1 health, and you used to see play, but I think it was before the core set as well. I didn't really see much play anymore. It's a bit too expensive for this kind of effect. Vibrant Scroll did see play before in an aggro token deck, so maybe that will see play again. And the other two weren't that amazing. They occasionally saw play, but not too big of a deal, I'd say. Then leaving Hunter are the Dragonbane, Savannah Highmane, Lesser Emerald Spellstone, and Kill Command. And Dragonbane, I feel like saw occasional play. Highmane used to be called the Legendary card, but even after the buff nowadays, it's not that strong anymore. And maybe Kill Command in some aggressive decks, but even that I didn't see too much anymore. So overall, not too big of a loss for Hunter. Then entering the core set for Hunter is Veradas, Terror Skill Stalker, Mountain Bear, and Wound Prey. And these cards seem a lot better than those previous ones. We've got the Veradas saw play in the Highlander Hunter, so it's pretty good, especially if you have ways to deal 1 damage to enemies. Terror Skill Stalker used to be 3 mana, now 2 mana, so with any good death roll it can be really strong. Mountain Bear also saw a lot of play, especially when you could summon it with some other cards. And then Wound Prey, just a solid 1 mana deal damage with upside cards, so pretty strong addition for Hunter in the core set, I'd say. And for Mage we got leaving Stargazer Luna, Babbling Book, Archaeologist, and Shooting Star. And yet again, these cards, they didn't really see much play the past year. So not that big of a loss. Although I'd say a card like Archaeologist, has seen often play in Wild still even. Tutoring probably Ice Block, but we don't have that secret. So unless there's some really strong secret you want to tutor, it probably doesn't see play. And yeah, Stargazer Luna, with all the draw we have nowadays, also isn't that needed anymore. Then we have entering the core set for Mage, Archmage Ananias, the classic. Babbling Bookcase, a new card, Violet Spellwing, and Oasis Ally. And yeah, Archmage Ananias, maybe if there's some combo you can do with it, it will see play. But yeah, by itself, it's very far from playable. Babbling Bookcase, a new card, a 3 mana 2/4 Battlecry, add 2 random spells to your hand. So yeah, I like that Babbling Book, but no, it's 2 spells you get. Considering Babbling Book didn't see much play anymore, and yeah, random spells, yeah, don't really synergize with your deck. I don't expect it to see too much play. Violet Spellwing also got buffed. It used to be a 1/1, so now it's a 2/1. It's a little bit of an upgrade, but I don't know if it's enough for this card now. And I know Izella used to be played a little bit. Kind of annoying secret to play around, but yeah, it depends on other secret synergies if it's gonna see play. Then for Paladin, we got Lady Liadrin, Hammer of the Naru, Warhorse Trainer, and Stand Against Darkness, leaving standard. And yeah, it's the only card it's really hurting for Paladin is Lady Liadrin. Although even that didn't see too much play, maybe in some Libram Paladins, but yeah, I don't think it even was very necessary in that deck. So again, not too big of a loss for Paladin, just rotating some cards that yeah, didn't really see much play. And then entering for Paladin are Anachronos, Underlight Angling Rod, Redskill Dragon Tamer, and Immortalized in Stone. Now Anachronos has been a very strong board clearing, so that's very strong for slower Paladin decks. Underlight Angling Rod, yeah, that's probably not going to be worth running. Redskill Dragon Tamer, yeah, depends if there's a dragon worth tutoring. It's pretty good then. And then Immortalized in Stone got a buff. It used to summon the tokens in the other order, 1/2, 2/4, then 4/8, but now it's the other way around. So yeah, if there's only like one board space or two, you won't be missing the big one, but instead just missing the small tot. So it's a nice upgrade, though I doubt it will see much play. Then we have Priest with 5 cards leaving the core set with Katrina Marte, Mana Geode, Crimson Clergy, Lesser Diamond Spellstone, and Shadowed Pain. And yeah, other than Crimson Clergy, though, it was a pretty big card in some decks. These other cards, not a big deal for Priest to see them leave. Then entering the core set, we got Natalie Celine, Light Shower Elemental, Great Healing Potion, which also got buffed, now draws a card. We got the Spirit Guide, and we got the Power Shield, good old Power Shield coming back. And yeah, some of these cards definitely saw play, Light Shower Elemental, and Spirit Guide definitely saw playing like multiple Priest decks, though yeah, it depends kind of on the synergies with them if you want to be running them. Great Healing Potion even saw play back in the day without the draw. But yeah, nowadays these kind of cards need a draw, and then yeah, of course, Powered Shield. I mean, it's definitely gonna see play. It's always been good 1 mana draw card with upside. It's hard to see that card not being played. Then we have Rogue, and what is leaving is Flick, Skyshift, Valderai Strider, Spectral Cutlass, Elven Minstrel, and Sap. And yeah, some cards have seen a little bit of play, Flick very occasionally. Recently I've also seen the Spectral Cutlass deck seeing play. So yeah, that won't be a deck anymore. And Elven Minstrel, just solid for tutoring cards. So that also saw occasional play, but overall I'd say not too big of a deal for a Rogue. It's not losing Preparation or Shadow Step, and yeah, those are the biggest cards it wants to have in the core set. Then what is entering the core set are some of the classics for Rogue. We've got the Shaku the Collector, Waggle Pig, Undercity Huckster, Defies Ringleader, and Foxy Fraud. And yeah, pretty much all these cards saw play in the past. And some of these got buffed. We got the Shaku getting extra health. Undercity Huckster, I think, getting extra health, where it already used to have it. Defies Ringleader, get an extra point of attack. And I could definitely see Waggle Pig, Foxy Fraud, maybe Shaku seeing play. Especially Foxy Fraud was really strong when it was in standard before. Then we have a lot of cards for Shaman leaving the core set. We've got Kalamos, Overdraft, Thing from Below, Muck Pools, Air Elemental, Spirit Claws, and Ancestral Knowledge leaving. And yeah, I'd say quite a few of these actually saw play. I've seen Overdraft, Muck Pools, Spirit Claws, Ancestral Knowledge all see play recently on the ladders. So Shaman is one of the classes with the biggest losses in the core set. However, of course, it is getting 7 cards back, and they are Crackwater Frog, Earth Elemental, Jinju Water Speaker, Blazing Invocation, which also got buffed. Now it costs 1 less, like the Studies card. Voltaic Burst, Marshpon, Wailing Vapor. And I should mention also Earth Elemental got buffed by 1 health. So yeah, all these cards have seen play in the past. Though yeah, it really depends on what decks will spawn with the next expansion. What we'll see play. A card like Wailing Vapor, of course. Really strong 1-drop, but yeah, it really requires an elemental deck to work. Then we have Warlock, which loses 6 cards in the core set, which are Archvillain Revam, Twisting Nether, Lesser Amethyst Spellstone, Defile, Bloodhound Imp, and Voidwalker. And yeah, overall, I'd say, yeah, you know, the board clears, Twisting Nether and the Fall, probably the best cards out of the bunch here, but yeah, I haven't really seen them recently anyway. So overall, I'd say not too big of a loss for Warlock, even though some cards you might want to play in specific metas. Then entering the core set are the Solarium, the Speckled Dreadlord, which got an extra health, Dark Peddler, Vulgar Homunculus, Venus Servant, and Demonic Assault. And I think almost all these cards saw play at some point in Standard, but I especially keep an eye out for the Solarium, because 1 mana draw 3 is extremely strong and still sees play in Vault, so yeah, I expect that card to pop up in a lot of Warlock decks. Then for Warrior, leaving the core set are Deathwing, Mad Aspect, Towncrier, Bladestorm, Frightened Flunky, and Whirlwind. And yeah, Deathwing, Mad Aspect was a really strong card back in the day, but yeah, it was in core set, but that's just better board play. It's not really worth playing anymore with yeah, minions just getting better stats. Towncrier, really strong card though, that is leaving. Although even that card has seen diminishing amounts of play. Bladestorm, same with it, like it used to be 3 mana even, 2 mana, and yeah, now it doesn't even see always play, but yeah, it was still a nice removal to have for Warrior, so a bit of a loss there. And then we have entering the core set the Bulwark of Azeroth iconic shield from World of Warcraft, the Bloodhoof Brave, Ravaging Ghoul, Hookfist 3000, and I know a guy. And of these cards, I definitely expect the Bulwark of Azeroth to see the most play. It's really strong, especially in specific matchups that against decks that, for example, just have one specific way of dealing huge amounts of damage, like a Weapon Rogue, right? They're gonna hate facing a card like Bulwark of Azeroth. And then we have cards like Bloodhoof Brave and Ravaging Ghoul, which used to be really strong back with Whispers of the Old Gods, but nowadays, not so sure if it's gonna be enough. And remaining are all the neutral cards entering and leaving core set. So let's start with the cards that are leaving. And first of all the big dragons from the core set are leaving. Deathwing the Destroyer, Malygos, the Spellweaver, Ysera, and Onyxia the Broodmother. But yeah, no big loss here. Same with Alexstrasza, the last big dragon leaving. We got Barongeddon, Zola, and Sylvanas Windrider. And I'd say only occasionally Zola saw play of these, so that's the only loss so far. Justicar Trueheart, Leroy, Molten Giant, and Mountain Giant. And yeah, Leroy, of course, probably the biggest loss. Maybe Molten Giant, Painlock, but since it got nerfed, not too much Painlock anymore. Then we also have Sea Giant, Footman, Defend of Argus, and Mind Control Tech leaving. And yeah, the big one here is obviously the Mind Control Tech. It's really annoying to be facing that one, so yeah, you no longer have to play around it and not play 4 minions on the board. Then the next few we have our Replicating Menace, Armor Vendor, Warsong Grunt, Night Elf Huntress. I'm personally very happy to see Warsong Grunt leaving, because that hand buff hunter deck with this card was extremely unfun, so that's good to see it go. Armor Vendor used to see a bit more play, nowadays not so much, so not much changing with that. Then we have also Wargear, Bronze Gatekeeper, Wandmaker, Southsea Deckhand leaving, and right there the Snowflipper Penguin. And yeah, the only one big one here leaving, of course, is the Southsea Deckhand. Saw play in a few decks like Hand Buff Paladin. So yeah, Charge leaving the core set. I'd say that that is the biggest deal from these cards leaving. And then we have entering the core set for 2025. The neutrals, we've got Octozari, Chillball, Snoot Old Strider, and Cairn Bloodhoof. And yeah, Cairn got buffed, it got a Todd, Sneeds Old Strider got buffed, it's now 7 mana instead of 8. And yeah, of these cards, I'm not sure if they will see play. Of course, there's the classic Sneeds Old Shredder into Sneeds Old Shredder, but yeah, I don't think that can happen anymore. And yeah, Octozari, maybe if you evolve with that somehow, it can be a highlight, but not sure if you want to actually be hard running the card. Then we got the next ones are Cornelius Rome, the Curator, which is now 5 mana. It used to be 7, so that's a big upgrade. Finja, the Flying Star. It used to be a 2/4, now it's a 3/5, and we got the Black Knight, which used to be 6 mana 4/5, then it was the 4 mana 4/4, and now it also has tradable on it. So they keep buffing that, but not sure how much these will see play. Maybe Curator, because it tutors 3 cards for 5 mana, it can be quite strong. And yeah, not sure about the others, if they're worth it anymore in today's meta. Then we got King Mukla, Laurel Kacho, Blowtorch Saboteur, and Runaway Blackwing. Runaway Blackwing got like nerfed / buffed from 9 mana 9/9 deal 9 damage to 10 mana 10/10 deal 10. I'm not sure what the idea is. Maybe there's going to be future cards where you know, it can summon a random 10 mana dragon and somehow that makes it better, but bit of a weird nerf / buff to that one. And from the other cards, Mukla got buffed, so instead of a 5 health minion, it's now 6 health minions, so it could be good tempo play maybe. But yeah, I don't expect the other cards to see much play. Then we've got Steam Cleaner returning. Yeah, people have been asking for it, so that's back. Although it's probably still going to be bait playing it. But yeah, it's there in case you want to destroy somebody's shuffle cards. Although a lot of the cards that shuffle are leaving, but you never know. Some new cards are gonna be entering standard. Sun Fury Protector, Mark Forge Feed, and Menagerie Jug, which also got buffed from buffing +2/+2 to +3/+3. And these cards, yeah, maybe Mark Forge Fiend if you can somehow cheat it out or res it can be good, but the others, not entirely sure. Maybe the Jug, it's a lot of buffs, but yeah, it requires a very specific deck to make that work. We got another almost Battlegrounds card, I would say, with Menagerie Muck coming back. It's now a 3/3 instead of a 2/2, and yeah, kind of the same with the Jug. Only maybe very specific decks that we'll see play in. Fireplume Phoenix got buffed from 3 health to 4 health. That is by Historian, also back and also got buffed from 1 to 2 attack. Got the Mage Guide. So yeah, these cards, not sure how much they'll see play. Fireplume Phoenix used to see play even at the 2 damage and a 3/3, so maybe they'll see play now, but I don't expect it to see too much play. And then that is by the Historian. Yeah, that used to be staple, but yeah, it very much depends on the dragons it can discover. And we'll probably see some new dragons with the next expansion, so maybe there are some good dragons to be discovering. So maybe this card will be worth it with new dragons that you can likely discover. And last two cards entering are Prize Vendor and Wisp. And yeah, I guess we got always a 0 mana 1/1 now with Wisp as an undead. And yeah, we got the Prize Vendor, which now also added Death Rattle. Each player draws a card. So if you're into milling the opponent, well, maybe there's something there for you. And lastly, I want to mention a few cards in the core set that saw their stats change. Here we have 4 cards that are in the core set and that are changing the stats. We got Deathring and Sourfang from a 3/6 to now a 4/6. We got the Spike Ridge Steed, which used to be 6 mana, now is 5 mana. SI7 Agent, after 10 years, is seeing a change and now deals 3 damage instead of 2 damage. And then we've got Evasive Warp going from a 5/3 to a 5/4. So these are all the neutral cards leaving and entering standard. There's quite a few of them, so some changes, some big ones. But I'd say most changes don't have too big of an impact, just a few specific cards that are leaving or entering. Let me know in the comments what you think of the core set. What do you think will change the most with this new core set? Thank you for watching, and until next time.